Welcome, viewers. Let's first thank our Patreon supporters for this, as well as my editors. And my artists as well. Earlier this year, I did a top 20 worst fairy odd-parents list, and it became one of my most viewed videos on my channel. Like, wow. Thanks for over 30,000 views, guys. I know that no one ever did a top worst list for the fairy odd-parents before me, but still, I was not expecting it to be that high. And I am grateful for that. Thank you all for supporting the video. But I feel like I only did half of the job. I know this show has got a lot of bad episodes, like the parents being awful, or the endless torture of Timmy and Crocker, and how this show can't follow its own rules. But damn it, I can't help it. This show is amazing. There's a reason why I love watching it. It's funny and clever, and got a lot of charm, characters, and great scenarios, and some amazing music. What do we wait for? Let's do the top 20 best Fairy Odd Parents episodes.
Odd parents, Fairly Odd Parents. It's what you live when you have a kid with Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, right.
So I said in my worst list that the actual pilot is bad and that its sister episode would have made for a better pilot. And yes, that's still true. Power Mad is what I would show people first on how good the Fairy Odd Parents are, after at least the Oh Yeah pilot. It shows what the fairies can do. It establishes Vicky as an actual threat, and it manages to be funny and still hold up over 20 years later.
I lost a life. I'm level 1. What am I, 4?
What kid wouldn't want to go into a video game? When I was a kid, I always wanted to go into something beautiful like Super Mario Galaxy, or something simple like Super Mario Bros. It also does a good job of establishing its own rules for the episodes. In the post-poof era of the Fairy Odd Parents, which is season 6 onward, and pre-poof era for season 1 through 5, the rules in the show would get so absurd that you end up questioning the rules instead of trying to enjoy the episode. Back in the pre-poof era, an episode would establish a simple rule and it would work. Timmy in this one wished for a video game that you couldn't wish yourself out of and actually be challenging. Good establishment there. It's a fun episode, it has a lot of great jokes, like everyone remembers this episode for Timmy Turner having a 6:13 bathroom time.
It's 6:13. Timmy always goes to the bathroom at 6:13. That's weird. He always struck me as a 7:43 resonator.
I love this one joke of when Chester gloats on having an extra life more than everyone else, then AJ just pushes him. And then Chester was about to throw AJ in.
I have 3 lives. Stop it! Guys, we have to stick together.
And the Vicky fight scene at the end is really cool. I think it's very creative. Also, it's really funny when the real Vicky goes into the game thinking she's watching Tetherball.
Oh, the Tetherball channel.
And I'm gonna say this right now, this show has really good CGI. I never really took notice of this until watching every single episode of this show, but for early 2000s CGI playing with 2D, it's about as good as the Disney Renaissance. I'm not joking, that's how good the 3D animation is in this show. As for the subplot with Cosmo and Wanda, it's the cherry on top of this wonderful Sunday of an episode. The parodies are great. They parody everything from I Love Lucy,
Wanda, you got some splaining to do.
to Seinfeld,
It's a show about nothing. How do we know when it's over?
I do.
to even Billy Crystal himself.
Uses a talent that will fill your heart with joy.
There was a farmer, had a dog, and Dingo was his name. Oh!
The feather joke is easily my favorite part of the whole episode.
And now, here's Cosmo with the weather. I thought you said feather.
It does also let you know that it's the early 2000s, cause nowadays, Vicky would be like on her cell phone, being on social media and talking to her friends instead of just watching TV. But I still think this episode holds up, and it's the first Fairy Odd Parents episode that I recommend to people.
Yeah, right.
So body swap episodes have always been an interesting concept to me. I love seeing what people would do if they were in other people's bodies. Some people complain how the voices switch and how it makes the audience look dumb, but I think that's a dumb criticism. Cause I think the voice actors have a lot of fun being in different characters for once. Maybe trying to act like another person to avoid suspicion. Hearing a totally different voice come out of a different designed character and be a lot of fun. Even Family Guy and Mickey Mouse took advantage of this.
Ho! It's funny cause different voices are coming out of different mouths.
Haha!
Why's everyone hating on Donald?
This show has had 3 body swap episodes. I already reviewed one in my worst list, so go to that for the one on Timmy and his mom. The other one was Witch's Wish with Timmy and Chloe, which I remember being absolutely boring. Except for this one joke from everyone saying that Chloe looked pregnant or something because Timmy did a hamburger eating contest and he became fat. Yes, I have weird fans, but I love him for that. Presto Changeo is how you do a body swap episode. What makes it fun is that Timmy takes advantage of being in Crocker's body, giving him the ultimate payback of his life. And probably the best part about it is this.
Always wanted to do this.
I know that was with AJ, but still it was great. When you have a body swap episode, you want to get right to it. This episode doesn't even waste time on it.
I need a magic device that will allow me to change bodies with someone else.
Literal first line of the episode. This episode also includes a fun callback to CosmoCon, as Mr. Turner hates Crocker.
You! Back to try and steal my wife again, eh?
And yet, when Timmy's dad goes inside Crocker, he thinks he's gorgeous.
Curse my beauty! I'm gorgeous!
But the best joke of the episode is usually when Timmy goes inside Francis and beats himself up as Francis, only for Francis to immediately fall over.
Alright, Turner, time for...
The subplot is fine. I really hate parents that hate their in-law children. I guess it's nice subversion that Mama Cosmo loves Wanda for change when she's sick, but it's not the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, right.
Ever wish you had no emotions? Well, Timmy once did, and it was hilarious. Yeah, I know, I just used an emotion, but still. Emotion Commotion has some of the sharpest writing on the show. From the lines to deliveries of the voice actors, it is right on point.
Here's your first virtual F! How do you feel about that?
Uninterested. Is that all you got?
You're weird! Weird! Get away from me, you freak!
It also has some off jokes that I like making fun of.
The reason they couldn't build a boat on Gilligan's Island is because it would end the series.
Oh, so that's why they went to space in the 1980s.
We built a little spaceship. It's crude, but it could fly.
That's how they had to continue the show. All in all, this will give you the best kind of emotion. Laughter!
Yeah, right.
Fairly Odd Parents have interesting villains, but they unfortunately don't ever try to interact with each other and are usually their own separate entities. But there are some episodes where they team up to try to stop Timmy. Dread and Breakfast is my favorite of the bunch. I just love the jokes that it tells in this one.
Aren't you too young for lipstick?
Don't push my buttons, bub, and I won't push yours.
I don't know if I stated this before, but I hate Tootie. I found her to be too annoying of a character. And her obsession with Timmy, let's just say I find it icky. But this episode actually does a good job because not only does Tootie actually manage to be funny, but she's viewed as an antagonist. Whereas in an episode like Boy Toy and Birthday Wish, we were supposed to find her awkward behavior charming or in the right, which never settled right with me. I'll never get past the sock monkey joke. I don't know why Timmy's dad with sock monkeys is funny, but it is. And the best part of the episode is with Dark Laser throwing the sock monkey back. It gets funnier each and every time.
Cool! Did they slip or have weapons in battle or something?
No. Who needs money when you have dreams? Like being the Sock Monkey Mogul King!
Yeah, right.
Must I do everything?
That thing on your neck. Is that your ear?
Norm the Genie is one of the greatest characters that Fairly Odd Parents has ever released. He's voiced by Norm Macdonald, a legendary comedian and an occasional voice actor who sadly passed away earlier this year. May he rest in peace. And you can't get a better interaction with him than with Crocker. I love how it's revealed that genies can grant infinite amount of wishes and that they have lied for years about the 3 max limit. I also love how this episode subverts one popular joke from the Roadrunner shorts.
No! That's impossible! No! I'm not falling for that old trick!
But then it still falls on Crocker because of his fairy obsession.
You might need this.
And speaking of the Roadrunner, earlier there's a bit in the desert where you see the words, M. Noble was here. This is actually referring to Maurice Noble. This was a background artist who worked for Disney on films like Snow White and Dumbo, and also for Chuck Jones for his work on Warner Brothers. He also designed a lot of the Roadrunner short backgrounds. Referencing one of the jokes was already funny, but this went the extra mile. Kudos!
Yeah, right. It's March 15th.
It's March 15th! This is not a drill!
Only if you grew up in the 2000s would you understand why March 15th is a terrible day. Nowadays, people treat it as just a regular normal day, but back then, it meant Crocker's worst day ever. But it also meant a number for one of the greatest episodes ever. It's at number 15 not because of coincidence with the number. It's because, while amazing, I feel like there are other episodes that are better. And this episode has a couple of problems that we'll get into as we go on. But that doesn't mean that this episode isn't funny, because it is funny. I love the parody jokes like the DeLorean being in one scene. I never noticed that as a kid, but I do now as an adult. It works here because Timmy is time traveling to the 80s. It's better than, say, when Kid Danger or The Loud House referencing Back to the Future, cause theirs didn't involve time travel. I also love this 80s Chet You Betcha joke.
I'm phoning this in on my brand spanking new 1980s cellular phone. Cell phone radiation, so not a threat to my health.
I think it's clever that Cosmo and Wanda were Crocker's fairies at one point in time, and how they forgot is also a great storytelling point. As for my problem with the episode, it's some jokes with the parents.
Look at all this cool daughter stuff I bought. I'd be crushed if we had a son.
Yeah, that joke doesn't hold up. Also not holding up with this episode is that Cosmo's dumbness, both present and past, can be a bit annoying. But other than that, this is a fun episode with fun origin stories. And I love the two Jorgens interacting with each other. Also, March 15th is the same day the Ice Age came out. Weird coincidence. I rewatched that movie recently because I'm doing a project involving that movie next month.
Yeah, right.
One problem that Fairy Odd Parents never seems to address is that it often feels like Timmy is the only one in the world that has fairies. And it's not like there are many kids in the world that have fairies. I'm not saying that we need to get involved with other kids' lives, but it would be nice every now and then to learn about other fairies, other than Remy, of course. Christmas every day is like the one time that I'm fine with its exception. Apparently no other kid ever made a I wish it was X everyday wish before this, but I can let it slide as long as the episode is fun. So is this episode fun? You bet it is, dudes! It's just an all-around fun special, including a fun nod to Frosty the Snowman with the mailman and the dog. And the Christmas Everyday song is amazing. Love how peaceful it starts out. Then that jazz man comes in hot!
I wish every day could be Christmas.
I love the eggnog joke with Timmy's dad, and the best part is him as a battering ram. It's so cathartic.
Stores are closed. We want food and eggnog to buy.
And I love Timmy's adventure up north, including the escargot joke. And I do love how Santa is forgiven of Timmy's wish. And I think Mrs. Claus is perfect given the coal.
Wanting peace and joy in the world each and every day is a wonderful sentiment.
You're getting coal for the rest of your life.
You've got coal.
And the other holidays are a nice addition as well. I think they make great antagonists. Also, this army guy joke is the best joke of the episode.
Everybody pretend to be asleep.
I hope I get a football.
Yeah, right.
Timmy's dad is a funny character, but unfortunately nowadays, people only associate him with his bad behavior that he has on Timmy. Which is unfortunate what he has become, because in the early years, he was really funny. Like in Miss Dimsdale, it has that iconic line that everyone knows from him.
Hey, looking good, Turner.
Dinkelberg.
If Timmy's dad wasn't the neglectful parent that he is, and sadly sometimes proud of it, he'd probably be viewed as funny and memeable as Hugh Neutron is today. He is a delight in this. I also love these two doctors.
You know, we were chasing Adam West, but this guy's much crazier.
I'm gonna need a bigger needle. I thought you were the best.
May I borrow your needle?
You should make it bigger.
This episode also introduces Adam West, and he's got a great introduction.
Can you get me your number?
That's no she, that's my dad.
So you have it then.
Keep working, Dinkelberg.
He's not gonna call you, really.
And I love his 1 week joke.
To the pageant.
Pageant's a week from now.
Oh, well, I will see you in a week. Hey, Timmy, see you in 3 days.
One problem that Fairy Odd Parents never seems to address is that it often feels like Timmy is the only one in the world that has fairies. It's not like there are many kids in the world that have fairies. I'm not saying that we need to get involved with other kids' lives, but it would be nice every now and then to learn about other fairies, other than Remy, of course, or that one-time cameo up with Cupid. Here's the best version of that.
Timmy? Chet.
Timmy?
Chet!
Now are you Timmy?
So Timmy wishes for everyone to be the same, and this time we get to see other fairies that can't find their kids.
I was just granting my kid a wish for a pony, and now I'm here in Fairy World.
I was just granting my kid a wish for a ducky, and now I'm in Fairy World.
It's also nice that even Wanda is confused for a change, not just Cosmo. In the early years, she was just as dumb, if not dumber, than Cosmo.
Was that a bad thing?
But what makes this episode soar is its guest star.
I was the parrot from Aladdin!
Gilbert Godfrey is Dr. Bender, and his son Wendell, and I love everything about them.
My comb has perfect teeth, and even our dog is on its way to good oral perfection.
They make this episode fun. It also teaches a great message about appearance. Go watch it if you haven't. It is a classic.
Yeah, right.
Very Odd Parents always had great music. The music was usually composed by Guy Moon, who is a very talented guy. Sure, sometimes not every Very Odd Parents song was good, like the Valentine's one. But for the most part, Very Odd Parents songs are bangers. And what better way to celebrate their songs than a musical? This one explains the origins of Flappy Bob, who you might have seen as the guy who owned the Camp Learnatorium. And in my opinion, these are the best songs of the whole show.
The bell rings, school's done. Time for 8 straight weeks of sun and fun. Gotta stop that Flappy Bob before it's way too late. Adults ruin everything, but kids would run things right. How could you say this is fun? It's just being.
They even made a good rap song.
We're pixies, check out our mad wicked mixies. I'm not a hater, but I must cater to my mission, my ambition to be the West administrator. We're pixies, pixie.
I love the Pixies. I think they make a great antagonist. Probably helping is the voice Ben Stein. He's my favorite boring voice ever. Like, if you need someone to be boring, yet entertaining at the same time, this is who you need.
Maybe we should try a 6-week plan next time.
This episode also does a great job teaching a lesson of both kids and adults on having fun. And both sides do terrible things, like the parents dumping their kids off at the Learnatorium, or the kids destroying Dinsdale. But they also both learn a great lesson. Oh, and of course, this special has many, many great jokes.
A town meeting. That's a great idea. That's your worst idea ever.
And I love how Timmy gets to be president.
The White House. Wait a minute. I'm the president of Kid World?
Well, everywhere but Florida, they're still voting.
Surprised that they never did that before this episode. All in all, this special is about growing up. And I think it's handled better here than in Channel Chasers.
Yeah, right.
Hey, look! It's
TV's Adam West.
Where? I love that gag.
Oh, how we miss you, Adam. I love him interacting with Jay Leno, aka Crimson Chin.
Did somebody call for a rewrite?
The Crimson Chin! But I'm right here. I am the Chin. It's already on my resume.
Fun fact, the studio that made the Very Odd Parents was right next to Jay Leno's studio, so that was why it was so easy to get Jay Leno for this show. And along with that, you could tell this episode just loves the big-time Hollywood references. The whole thing is like a celebration for it. And going back to Jay Leno, he even plays himself talking to the Crimson Chin.
Hey everybody, it's TV's Adam West.
Ma'am, you're very pretty, but my heart belongs to a lady named Justice.
Yeah, right.
I'm back. I'm back.
I love Dark Laser. Next to Crocker, he's my favorite villain on the show. And this is one of his funniest appearances. Who can't forget Flipsy?
What do you think, Flipsy? Flip once for recruit, Turner, and 2 for destroy. Recruit.
Kevin Michael Richardson does a great performance as Dark Laser, which is fitting since Richardson said James Earl Jones was one of his influences in voice acting, and Dark Laser is honestly one of the best parts of the post-poof era, if not the best. Like, for all the shit that we give it, Dark Laser is probably the one aspect of it that's honestly better than the old seasons. And while I can't say this is Kevin Michael Richardson's best performance ever, he still does a really good job here. Probably what helps him the most is the laugh that he has. I always love hearing it.
Okay, just press the button and Earth goes bye-bye.
I know it may be a little weird to see him in the post-poof era due to his outcome in Hard Copy and in Escape from a Wish Island, but I let it slide because Dark Laser is just so much of an entertaining villain. Timmy with dark powers is fun. I love how he still keeps it at the end for emergencies, and I love how he takes advantage of it.
I'm gonna hit myself with this frying pan now. I'm gonna hit myself with this frying pan now. Yeah, right.
A lot of people have asked how the Very Odd Parents should have ended. Some say Channel Chasers, others Abercatastrophe, and many more episodes as well. They'd be better than the actual series finale.
I hate Weird Owl and his terrible bird song parodies. Especially All I Need Is a Miracle. It's a miracle you ever got a record deal, Weird Owl.
But for me, I go with the season 8 finale, Meet the Odd Parents. If you don't know, this is the episode where Timmy's parents find out about Timmy's fairies. Now, if you actually have paid attention to the show, you would know that's the biggest rule breaker and that would send Timmy's fairies away forever. However, this episode establishes a loophole, and you know what? At this point in the series, they have broken so many rules that I can let it slide. Alright, that's a good point to bring up. When is it okay for a show to break its own rules? Simple. When that rule being broken is establishing something fun. What is this loophole, first of all?
If Jorgen never finds out that your parents know about us, we can stay!
I mean, all you have to do is point to Abracatastrophe on why that's not 100% true, but I don't really mind, because this is the best written episode of Timmy's parents. I can't think of another episode that they are better in than this, and they are creative with their wishes. Mom gets a talk show, and Timmy's dad being president is really funny. Sure, they did it before and since, but did Timmy's dad threaten a talking golf ball before with a nuke?
Don't interrupt, golf ball! So help me, I will take you out with an airstrike?
I don't think so. And the ending is really sweet.
Not all good, I'm not fun! I'm gonna miss you!
I gotta be honest, I got really emotional there. And I do love how Jorgen allows Timmy to keep his fairies. But what I love more is Timmy's parents' sacrifices just to make Timmy happy. And the wedding ring bonus that Timmy does is so sweet. If Timmy's parents were more like this for the rest of the series, they could have been the greatest parents in animation, instead of what we know them as of today. But right here, they are perfect. This was a great episode, and a wonderful way to end Season 8. I wonder what episode came right after this one. What was the Season 9 premiere?
I like this chew toy.
I hate you!
Yeah, right!
I love conventions. I think anyone that grew up with the Fairy Odd Parents has probably seen this one. How good is this episode? It starts off with a surprisingly very funny joke on the plague.
I'm sorry! I thought the Black Plague was a band! I didn't know it would wipe out half of Europe!
And we also have Crocker as our main antagonist. And you know, I think I'm gonna let Timmy's dad describe him here.
Those eyes, that hair, that figure. Oh my gosh, it's worse than I thought. He's gorgeous!
The whole idea of this convention and it being in the bathroom actually turns out to be a very unique idea, and why they have it there to begin with. And I also love Brittany's cameo. This is like her only real episode. And another thing that makes it great is Crocker's defeat. I think it's just perfect.
Also mine. And stay out!
A classic episode that still holds up 20 years later.
Yeah, right!
Wishology is the best thing to come out in the post-Poof era. It also feels like the best series finale to the show. Yes, even more than Meet the Odd Parents. While I still think Meet the Odd Parents is a better conclusion, I would make this like the giant epilogue. Like right after Meet the Odd Parents aired this. Part 1 kinda does feel like It's a Wishful Life done right. Remember how that garbage episode had Timmy wish that he was never alive? And then somehow the world proved that they were better off without him? Even though many of the changes in that episode don't make sense and don't really answer how many of the situations are Timmy's faults. In this one, with Timmy not existing, not much actually changes, but it's a good thing. Part 2, I love all the Star Wars stuff, and I like the twist of the Eliminators going to Yugopotamia to steal Fakeifiers to trick Timmy Turner. And Timmy actually kissing Trixie. I think that's a really touching scene. It's what he deserves. Part 3, the fact that Timmy was the only one to ever send anything nice into the darkness, and that's why he's the chosen one. Turbo Thunder is alright, but I just prefer the original cast of characters, which sadly were cut in Part 3 for some reason. As for all parts as a whole, Wishology has the best CGI of the show. Like I said in Power Mat, the show has really good CGI, but I think here it goes all out. While the opening with the 2D characters amongst the 3D opening doesn't age that well, the Eliminators and the Darkness all have amazing CGI. And I love the Kiss cameo. Yes, it's the actual Kiss people. And they have my absolute favorite Kiss joke ever.
Centuries? Wow, you guys are older than you look.
Why do you think we wear the makeup?
You know what? This is my canon reason why Kiss wears the makeup. Fun fact about me, I actually got to see Kiss's final concert back in 2019. So actually seeing them in person makes me appreciate this special even more. Oh, and for some reason Patrick Warburton is in this. I don't know why he's every single Murph guy, but I absolutely love it.
Seems that every star in the sky has completely vanished.
You're right, it's probably nothing.
Every star in the sky has vanished! The detonator? It's too small.
It's actually standard size. It's just that you are so super and big.
There's a lot to love in this, from all the movie references To the great cast of characters, I might want to talk about this again in the future, and maybe give it a future Right Animation review. I mean, how can you fail with a joke like this?
You wouldn't find it funny, sir. I have a great sense of humor. I'm Fart Blazer. I'm Fart Blazer. Pull my finger. I'm Fart Blazer.
Sure, this special does have its problems, like not using Timmy's main gang in the third part, or Jorgen reset everyone's memory at the very end, or Turbo Thunder himself, but I can let them slide for a rockin' 3-part special. The Big Scoop is an episode that's told from a different perspective. Think like this show's equivalent of The Lion King 1.5.
We gotta go back to the beginning of the story.
The original episode, A Wish Too Far, was from season 1, and it's honestly not that great of an episode. The pacing is really off, and the moral of trying to not be yourself to be loved isn't the most memorably executed. Honestly, just watch Aladdin for a better version of that story. I just like The Big Scoop more than the original because it's more fun. Chester and AJ proved to be a really fun comedic duo that don't have to rely on Timmy to be memorable. This was also the first time Jason Marsden voiced Chester as opposed to Frankie Muniz. And honestly, I found Marsden to be the more thin voice. He makes Chester's line delivery much more funnier.
Sorry, my parents said that.
But your parents love me. Chester McBadbat, ace photographer, is not part flying squirrel. Yeah, right.
This episode is iconic! How can anyone hate it? It's funny, it's got a clever fight scene, and you know that song that I'm talking about.
You know they walk a mile just to see me smile. Woo! Shiny teeth and me.
Best song of the whole show, without a doubt. And this is a great introduction to the Tooth Fairy. She did make her first appearance in the Oh Yeah shorts, but this is a nice way to show her in the official series. And of course, we got Dr. Bender back.
Who's next? And here to help me is my son Wendell and his Yanko Rip-O-Matic.
This is an awesome episode that you should check out if you haven't already. It is iconic.
Yeah, right.
Just like how I'm a sucker for conventions, I'm also a sucker for Renaissance episodes. I love going to the Renaissance. They always felt fun. And what better way to celebrate the Renaissance than going back in time to it? The best thing about this episode is easily Finkelberg. I also want to give a shout out to D. Bradley Baker. He is a very talented voice actor. You may have heard his voice a couple times on this show, as well as Bubble Bass and others on SpongeBob SquarePants, and even number 4 on Codename Kids Next Door. Here, Baker provides the voice of old RD.
That's Arthur. Whatever.
He provides a shrimpy voice when he's tiny, but when he gets his glasses...
I can see.
I can fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right.
This is the definitive Fairy Odd Parents movie, which is kind of interesting since it was the first Fairy Odd Parents movie. It's pretty much what I think of when I think of a Fairy Odd Parents film. Funny enough, even though it's a TV film, I have a memory of seeing it in theaters. But honestly, given the film's quality, it feels like it needs to be in theaters. Hell, as a kid, I thought it was originally in theaters. The idea of celebrating 1 year with Timmy getting Cosmo and Wanda is great. The whole plot with the muffin leads to fun stuff, and the ideas from the world changing is very creative and fun. And all the movie parodies are enjoyable too. From Star Wars to Spider-Man to Jurassic Park, it's a blast. And Crocker is the show's best villain as usual.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Chet You Bow Down, and it's time to bow down before our Lord and Master, Mr. Crocker.
And this is Crocker at his absolute best. There's also a nice touch of Crocker's evil suit being resembling the one he fantasized in his first episode. You gotta love the little details.
Mine will be a new world order, with I, Mr. Crocker, as the supreme magical ruler.
Sorry about all the jokes about you.
Now, a lot of you are probably wondering why I didn't put Channel Chasers on this list. I mean, it's got a lot of great parodies like The Simpsons and Rugrats and Peanuts and Rudolph and all that. Who can't love Cosmo as a puppet? Well, the reason why I decided not to put that special on is mostly because the parents are written like they know what's best for Timmy, and their only fault was not listening about Vicky when that's not true. It may come as a shock, but Timmy's parents are awful! Do I need to explain why? I literally made a worst list that showed them at their worst. And that's what Abracatastrophe does better. It shows Timmy's parents are in the wrong, and they have to learn a lesson and actually improve. In Channel Chasers, they, don't. Abracatastrophe points out that Timmy's parents are partially the reason Timmy has fairies, because their lies to him led to his misery. And like I said for Abracatastrophe, at least they actually learned a lesson. As for the rest of Abracatastrophe, I love the monkey stuff, and I love the puns. I can't imagine a world without puns. Puns are funny to me. And now, for the best Fairy Odd Parents episode ever. And I think you all know what that is.
Odd parents, fairly odd parents. If Richard Littman, you have a kid with fairly odd parents.
Yeah, right.
The Boy Who Would Be Queen is the best Fairy Odd Parents episode. From what I know, everybody loves this episode. Even the biggest grouches in existence or of this show, they love this episode here. It does a great job with tackling gender topics. And yeah, boys could do girly things and girls could do boyish things. It's funny how early this episode was, and sad how the later seasons would basically like to pretend that this episode doesn't exist. They had episodes where instead of subverting the stereotypes, they would embrace them. And they also had some bad episodes where Timmy would want to only do boy things and not care about anything girly. The early 2000s still had that notion of girls can only like girly things and boys can only like boy things, kinda like what this episode portrays. But what makes this episode work is that it establishes that these gender stereotypes are bad.
If boys did more girl stuff, then girls would be able to do more boy stuff.
Speaking of Trixie, this is the only episode of the show where she's not a rich snob. She's an actual character. Okay, she's kind of a rich snob at both the beginning and end of the episode, but that's actually important for the episode. I really love Trixie here. She's an actual human being. This episode came out 20 years ago, and I think it holds up better today than it did 20 years ago. And the jokes are some of the best of the show. Literally everything with Cosmo and Wanda I love. From Wanda getting mad at Timmy for a good and legit reason,
Like I'd wish I was a girl. What a waste of a wish.
to their jokes when they switch genders.
Would it kill you to leave the lid down?
Would it kill you to look before you sit?
Also, there's this joke. I dare you to find a better joke in the show than this.
You're my new best friend.
I also gotta give credit to Timmy's voice, Tara Strong in this episode. It already takes talent to make herself sound like the opposite gender. But to make that voice sound feminine and make it feel like the same character, that's serious skill in voice acting. That reminds me, I love that you can change your gender instantly. Do you know how many millions of people wish that they could switch their gender at will in an instant? That's something that I really appreciate. I know people used to say that My Life as a Teenage Robot has some trans rep, or that The Legend of Korra and The Loud House have good bisexual representation, but I think the best LGBT anything from Nickelodeon came from here, just because of how good written the episode is. I think most people like to consider this the best Fairy Odd Parents episode, and that's interesting. And oddly enough, I used to own this episode on my Game Boy Advance. Yeah, does anyone remember those? Where the Game Boy Advance would have these white cartridges, and instead of playing video games, they played television shows and movies? Those were fun. I also had Shrek 2, the movie, on there. Thank you all for watching. Please support me on Patreon if you want to see more videos from me like this in the future. Star Giant Productions, out. And hey, I did a Fairy Odd Parents review without shit-talking Butch Hartman or mentioning that live-action remake that's coming out next year. Oh darn it!